Hello from Southern Ontario, Canada. It's May 5th. So popped up on my feed was a new site I hadn't seen before, Off Grid Living in Canada. I subscribed to it, but I haven't had time to really check out the channel, but its clips are still popping up on my feeds. And one of them seemed like a scheme to me. This guy was posting you could rent, lease, or buy 1 acre, 2 acres, 5 or 10, and go off grid and blah, blah. And I thought, that looks a little, bit sketchy. Over the next couple of days, yeah, it did turn out to be sketchy. I won't go into the details. And, there's a lot of good people ask questions on there, like, should I hook my storage batteries from my solar panels up in series or in parallel? Questions like that. Comments suggesting realtors who specialize in, I'll say, off-grid hidey holes, financial institutions that are more receptive to financing such projects, properties, etc. A lot of cool stuff on there. And there's a lot of people saying, well, hey, I'd like to, join in on some kind of a, I'll say, commune situation on some property. And there's some people who are saying, well, I've got something and some property, and I'm, interested in people coming and going joining. this type of thing, right? And it got me to thinking. And now we're going to go into a hypothetical situation that, I was pondering. Through my channel, say a 65-year-old retired widow says, hey, Carl, I got 100 acres, it's paid for, I got my meager pension, I need a ranch foreman. Somebody like you has the skill sets and experience and a lot of the, I'll just say, hardware, post pounders and chainsaws and tractors and that sort of thing. And my plan is, the widow's plan is, get the place fenced in, get the chickens and the goats and the cattle set up, and the gardens, and build, 3 or 4 cabins. She'd like to attract her grandchildren and their families to come join her, but the grandson-in-laws are soft paws and don't have the skill sets, and this sort of, that's her thinking, right? And I say, well, that's cool. I'd like a gig like that. I'm going to be homeless here in 2 months anyways. Yeah, I'm interested. Now, here's my point. If I'm a schemer, well, let's say 3 years later, we've got all this in place. I disappear one day, and in her mailbox from a cold-blooded lawyer, I don't think I'd have trouble finding a cold-blooded lawyer, do you? I claim we were in a common law relationship, which we weren't, but I claim it, hard to deny. And I'm claiming that I'm owed something, or I want a chunk of her property, because I pounded in 472 fence posts, strung 8 miles of barbed wire, built chicken coops and pig pens and cabins, and dug a well and a septic bed, and hauled 300,000 pounds of firewood, and you see where I'm going, right? Well, that leaves the widow in a heck of a jam, doesn't it? I mean, the lawyer's fees to get rid of this nefarious fictional character alone might overwhelm her. I don't know what the legalities proceedings would be. Probably she'd have to throw some kind of a settlement at the nefarious schemer just to get rid of him, right? Conversely, it could work the other way. 3 years later, everything's built up. The grand families are moving in, and she's like, yeah, well, okay. Everything's built. The soft paws can manage the firewood. I don't need you anymore. You can pay rent or hit the road, old dude. Whoa. So I think a lot of my point is, of course, I think a lot of people, when they're considering or entering into such affairs, I'll say, I guess, there should be some kind of contract drawn up, mostly to protect the landowner from nefarious schemers, again, the unscrupuled ranch foreman. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't know if I can post this video onto the Living Off Grid in Canada site, but I see an increasing interest in such affairs as people realize things are going left really fast here in Canada. So I thought I'd throw that out as some food for thought. Take care. Oh, hello to everyone in Great Britain, the UK, Australia, Germany, everywhere else who follows around the world. Take care, everyone.